Hey guys, welcome back. MTG Moxman here. Glad you're all back for another exciting day. We're going to fill some time tonight, go over some stuff. And before you know it, our day will be done. And I'll miss you guys and won't see you till tomorrow. What can I say? If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe. We are trying to get to that 1,000 mark. It's been like a running on gag at this point. And we've gained like a couple a day, but I'd love to get a big boost up. So please help us get there, and we will totally get there faster if you subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button. Just beep, beep, beep. Remember, about 60% of people watch my videos, and there's a lot of time being watched are not subscribing. So please hit the subscribe button. Help us grow as a channel, and then you get to see this cool content all the time. Also, if I annoy you, you can just turn the notifications off, and you'll still be subscribed, and you can view me when you feel like viewing me. Big shout out to all my patrons who are actually the ones who put up with me monthly with my little private little things we talk about. And that's on my Patreon account. You guys can find me there if you choose to support me. If you can spare a half cup of coffee to give me every month, which is like $1, then you can join my Patreon account just for $1. It's fun. It's awesome. We all get to chit chat, and you get more entries into the giveaways. To my regular viewers, you guys are amazing. To the guys on Instagram, of course, you guys are amazing. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. That was like a whole minute and 12 seconds to get through. Whew, I can talk fast when I need to. Just swig of water. All right, so little update here. Beyond what the thumbnail update says. Number one of our followers here, awesome guy, said, hey, I got my hands on my box today. So I called my local place here to say, hey, can I pick up a box on the way home? And no, I cannot pick up a box on the way home because they're not giving any out until Friday. So I can't get any. So I did try them, like, hey, and they said no. So I couldn't get any from my 2 LGSs that are here in Toronto. I'm going to have to wait till I go up on the weekend to pick up my stuff, okay? So I apologize, but I had to try because he got his. So I thought, oh, I'll give it a shot. No luck, Chuck. Didn't work out for me. I'm chilling like a villain with you guys instead. So, now on to bigger and badder and better things. Bigger, better, badder? Bigger, better, badder? Yeah, it's kind of funny, isn't it? Okay, I was thinking. So, I'm doing a reserve list update. Now, number one, if you're new to my channel, you know I don't usually do this. This is not my normal thing. Sorry, if you're a longtime person, I don't usually do this. The reserve list is a very touchy topic for many people. Many people see it 1 or 2 ways, or 3 or 4 ways, depending on who you're talking to. The reserve list, in case you guys were not aware, if you're new to this and you haven't heard of it before, the reserve list is a grouping of cards that Wizards promised would not be reprinted. Okay? It won't come back. Those cards are unique. They will never come back. The problem with the reserve list is there's lots of cards, number one, that are no good. They're junk cards that Wizards just threw on there. They didn't even think about it. They just said, there's a reserve list. Forgetting about that the card has no playability, no use, and will never be worth anything, is how the phrase goes, right? Never worth anything. Now, that said, the reserve list serves a purpose. For some people, it's a way of benchmarking how cards are old and valuable and expensive and need to be kept, okay? For other people, it's a say to say, hey, I got a nostalgic card here that nobody else will ever own. It's mine. I have the only one. It's going to be mine forever. Nobody else is going to touch it. That's a great way of looking at it. I mean, I understand that, and I can see how people think that way. I myself, of course, do dabble in the reserve list. I do buy stuff when I get a chance. And I've bought things over years and years, slowly built up, okay? I do have like a set of Power of 9, right? I do have old cards, but I've had those a very long time before they were truly valuable. So it's not something I had to purchase. Actually, purchasing reserve list cards is an entirely different endeavor. So this is just like an update of like the do's and don'ts of what you might be looking for and not looking for when you start your reserve list collection. So I would, number one, say start small, okay? Really small. There are lots of reserve list cards that are literally like still like $1, 50 cents, $2. But there are hundreds of thousands of them. I agree. There's tons of them out there because they're not good cards. But there are people who look for those cards in perfect condition. BGS 10s, PSA 10s. So if you find some really gem mint ones, it might be worth sending in for grading, and they're actually worth money. Okay? There are people who look for those. But at the same time, it's nice just to say, hey, I have some old reserve list cards that will never be reprinted. Even if you only spent $20 and bought like 5 or 6 cards, it's still kind of cool to have in your collection. Even if they're bad cards, to say, hey, these are never coming back, and I have some. Because Magic is very strong right now. It's been stronger, but it is very strong. And it will get stronger, I believe, over years and decades as the game grows and evolves. But there are people who are always going to go back, and let's say they pick off a few of those cards at a time. A few. Even those cards that are worthless eventually disappear. It may take another 20, 30 years, but eventually they disappear. Just saying. Collections are lost. Things happen. And inventory disappears. People throw out boxes. Things happen. So it's kind of cool to think that maybe one day that card can be worth something, but never bet on it for those really low-level, entry-level Nyx cards. Now, I have a couple of my binders here that have my reserve list stuff, or some of it. Okay, there's other stuff in these binders too. I just wanted to show you a couple things to give you an example. Now, anyone can look up the reserve list. And no, I didn't do the pretty pictures tonight. I just thought this was simpler to actually show you the real card as opposed to something else, like, you know, a picture up on a screen. So, because it's something to be said about holding and looking at the real thing. So here we have a card that should be worth a lot more than it is, but this, oh, that's bad. There we go. This card, there we go, almost perfect. There you go. This card is called Tolarian Academy. Tolarian Academy, oh, there we go. Tolarian Academy is from the Urza's block. And it says here on the Urza's card, tap to add 1 mana to your mana pool, blue, for each artifact you control. So you can see if you have 20 artifacts out there, it's a lot of damage, right? Now, I only have a couple of those. I have 2. It's not that many. But older cards like Cyclopean Tomb. These are from Alpha, Beta, Unlimited only. Okay? There really aren't a lot. This is the Collector Edition one, by the way. Right? But this card, back in the day, which was an amazing card, you pay 4. It says, turn a non-land swamp into a swamp, marking it with a token. And when Cyclopean Tomb is removed from, gets destroyed, blown up, whatever, 1 token disappears each turn. So they don't all go away at the same time. It's 1 at a time, which is kind of cool. It was a very amazing card back then. You could really mess with people's decks. So now, some of my favorites, which people forget about these sometimes. This here is called Force Field. I know my poor Force Field's marked up, but it's not the actual card. It's the plastic. It's not the card, okay? See that? It's just the plastic. So Force Field is a 3 casting cost artifact, 1 to use. It says lose only 1 life to an unblocked creature. So basically every creature is a 1/1, as long as you have mana available. That's awesome! This card I consider in that grouping of Power of 10. It doesn't get enough recognition. Very, very cool card. Always liked it. It's done by Dan Frazier, a great artist. People forget about that. Now, a crazy one that I used to love. What's this say? This, again, is the Collector Edition version. This here is Illusionary Mask. Now, Illusionary Mask originally would say you pay X mana for a card. Okay, so say I'm putting out a 5/5 creature. I have to at least spend 5, but I can spend more. I could spend 10 and turn it upside down. And you don't get to know what this card is unless it takes damage and causes it to flip over. Now, they changed that rule with Manifest. But they never said in the original ones that the card's powers stopped working. So people would take Ali of Cairo, who says your life can't go below 1. They use an Illusionary Mask to put Ali upside down. Then they put a Spectral Cloak on top, which is the old version of Hexproof. And there was basically no way of killing it if you could protect it. So you never died from damage, which was very unheard of back in the day. And whole games revolved around like, why is this guy not dying? What's happening? So reserve list cards like this, they're unique. They don't make these mechanics anymore. This type of play. You have a Maya Hollow. Great card. It says here, add 1 colorless to your mana pool. Or you can pay 1 green to regenerate target creature. So you can regenerate all your creatures if you got green. You pick the one you want to save. It's very cool. Now, of course, all the dual lands, Power of 9, those are all on the reserve list as well. But the reserve list is huge. There is one of my favorite, of course, the Argivian Archaeologist. He would let me bring back the Chaos Orb, another banned card, and blow things up over and over and over again. But the thing I find funny is if you look at him, where is it? Like, he's got eyeglasses on. He just looks like a dude chilling out somewhere, like doing an excavation. It's a very cool card. You know? So when I look at all these cards that I've collected over the years, and I say, ooh, this and ooh, that, oh, by the way, here's Ali of Cairo. Very cool. Look at that boy. He's a happy boy. So yeah, it's some of my old stuff, but it's the idea that you're collecting things that will never be reprinted and add to your collection. I only suggest doing this if you have a little bit of money to burn and you understand that you're not going to sell it right away for any circumstance. You got to wait on these things for years, decades. This is not an investment for the average person. Pardon me. And only a certain amount of people tend to go for these cards, guys. Like, as the population ages, less and less players of Magic care about these cards. Understand that as well. It's like any other collectible, like toys or video games. Only a certain segment of the population will care. So as things get older, it is that much harder to sell those objects. But when you get past that generation and things become truly considered like artwork and stuff and crazy, like, then you're talking things can go into the stratosphere. You're talking millions of dollars for all I know. I'm guessing. Imagine you have a Black Lotus that's in good shape. And Magic stays on its course, becomes, 100-year-old game. And a great-great-grandkid ends up with that card. It could be millions at that point because there's only a very limited amount of those cards that were made. And of the cards that were made, most got destroyed by now. Most have gone through their life cycles. Bad things have happened. It's like collector edition ones, which I have here. I have real ones too, of course. I have lots of real cards in there that are not collector edition. I got all those collector edition ones. It's like a bulk set thing. But back in the day, guys, collector editions are in sets of 5,000 and 15,000 for the two sets, collector edition and international edition. So that means in total it's like 20,000 sets that worldwide. Do you know how many of those cards were destroyed for rebacking for people to try to make alpha and beta cards? They would tear them apart and peel them and try to glue them back together with real front cards of traditional Magic cards. And I suppose you can tell there's lots of ways looking at wavy glue lines and all this stuff through lights. So those collector edition cards are lost forever. So really, collector edition to me has a higher chance of going up in the long, long run. But that's a long way from now. My point is, it's not for everyone. And I'm not saying dive into this. But I had some emails, some people have been asking me about it. So I just thought I would address it tonight and talk about it. No, I don't go deep into it. I happen to have some of the cards. That's great for me. I've bought some when they were cheap. Like the Argivians, I think I picked up when they were $30, $40. And they went up to like 70. I was all happy. Then they kind of dip down, go up, dip down. I'm not selling them because I like looking at them. But it is cool to know I've already gained a little bit of money, I guess. It's nice. Right? You're like, hey, I made some money. It's the same as buying alpha cards with those rounded corners. They're worth a lot of money because there was never a lot printed. They were test cards, technically. It was a first run at how Wizards was going to... Well, Wizards of the Coast back then was so small, right? They left this stuff on their front lawn. It's crazy. There's all kinds of stories. You should look it up. But I don't dabble that deep myself. There are cards I buy once in a while. I would love to expand my collection, but it's hard to do. It takes a lot of money to get the cards I want. So if you're looking at collecting, you know who I'm talking about, you 4 people who emailed me. You're different people, so you 4. And everyone else who's out there watching. Take your time. Pick cards you want. Reserve list standard is always go for dual lands. That's the standard. You always want to get a couple dual lands in there. Alright? Especially if you're playing Commander or playing older decks or you want to build a vintage Legacy deck. You got to get your dual lands in there. There is still lots of those lands out there, but they do demand a very high price. And I would definitely take your time picking them up. Do not try to go out and spend 15 grand buying all the lands you need. It'll be ridiculous. But if you buy 1 a year, 2 a year, trade up, move cards, get really beat up ones that are real but like they're trashed, or it's like, $200 a pop, it is totally possible you can build your own collections in a nice, easy way. Still money, but not tons of money. And take your time doing it. Do not try to rush into this because you will pay for that, guys. You will overspend, okay? And you don't want to put yourself in any kind of financial difficulties, right? I have done that in the past, and I had to sell some of the stuff I had originally bought because I couldn't hold on to it. I didn't take a loss. I kind of broke even, but I missed those cards. So I wish I had more resources, more funds for myself to buy it. But family first, guys. Family first. Take care of yourself first. Investments. Put things away. Then buy some Magic cards. And for those who are asking, start with the cheap cards. Buy a couple of easy ones. They're like $10-20, but they're on the reserve list. And look for some cards that do have playability. Don't just get the ones they put on for no reason. You can look them up, guys. A lot of stuff from Fallen Empires, Homelands, that's not worth anything. But if you go to like Urza's, stuff like that, you'll find cards that aren't too expensive yet that you can dig into for $50-60, okay? So, Tomorrow, which is Thursday, I'll probably be doing a double video, guys. One for Thursday, and I'll probably release one on Friday. But I'll release it late Thursday. So it's like a double video because I want to have a video for you guys to watch on Friday, for those who have asked me about that. And for those on Patreon who sent me those messages, I will take care of that extra video for you. And then on Saturday, I'll probably be going to the card store, and I'll be doing an opening there of a box and price and pre-release kit. So I'll upload that sometime in the morning on Saturday. So I'm kind of psyched up. This will be like a video like every day of the week, which is cool. And again, I hope it draws in some new subscribers. We didn't get a lot today. I think I got 1 or 2. So we're sitting at, sorry, look at my phone. The last count here says 737. So we're 263 away, which, I mean, I've been hovering in the 240, 250s and all that, 260, 270s for a while. So it's okay. But hopefully we can get a few more people, which would be awesome. And I'm saying that because most people don't watch this far into the video. There's only those few. You lucky few who watch this to the end, where I like drink water and sit back and do absolutely nothing but stare at the ceiling. My ceiling's white. It's just white. There's nothing there. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I really appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. Hope you have a lovely evening. Stay safe. Say hi to your friends, families, dogs, pets, and everyone who's special to you in your life. And I will see you guys all tomorrow. This is MTG Moxman. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers, guys. Have a great one. Hey guys, MTG Moxman here. Looking forward to that box opening. We're going to have a lot of fun. The weekend is going to be awesome. All right, guys, you stay safe out there. Miss you all. Leave the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Have a great one.